How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Sorry about the late upload. Life has been a bit hectic. We will go into that a bit later, maybe after the video. We'll see how we feel. We are DJC. Welcome to another video. We're going to be doing a reaction slash response or commentary on DID at work, interviewing my boss. This is by the Entropy system, and we have some pretty good stories about our previous job. So, and without any further ado, let's begin.
All I do is make weird faces, especially if there's a camera involved.
That's very
This
true.
is actually the face that I normally make when a camera's involved.
The top of your head's being cut off.
Yes!
No!
It's my least favorite part.
The top?
The top.
Should we at a
That's the
bookstore?
part everybody sees! Hi everybody, it's Daniel, and welcome to another video by the Entropy system. Today I have a very special guest.
Shout out to the name Daniel. Respect, respect.
This is our boss, Becky. We've talked about her a lot on our channel and how awesome she is, and now she's agreed to do an interview with us.
Great, now I'm gonna have to watch all of those episodes. Awesome. Thanks for the short joke earlier.
You're welcome. So anyway, how did you find out that we were a system?
I got your application, because you applied to work here. And I looked at it, I was like, okay, I'm going to do like any employer does, is I'm going to internet stalk them to make sure they're not secret crazy people in the way that I
ever had an employer do that before.
Oh, every employer does it.
Okay.
Guarantee they do it. So I searched you, and I was like, okay, boop, 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 boop. And I was like, oh, she's got a vlog. I'm like, doot, 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 doot. Watch a couple, and I'm like, oh, okay, she's got a D&D. Okay, cool. How is that like? Doot, 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 doot. Wait. It's doot, 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 doot.
We just have your arms. We've got a dog battery.
This is my interview, Julie.
All right. So, what were your first thoughts about hearing that we had this condition?
I didn't really care.
Just like,
I
oh,
was like, as long as she can do the job, that's all I care about.
That's
Okay.
valid.
So
solid.
the interaction that you and I had already had as a customer in the store didn't affect my opinion of what you have and what you deal with on a daily basis.
Because I was a regular here for a long time.
Exactly. And again, not like any employer, what I want and what any employer wants is to make sure that you can do your job to the fullest ability, and that's all I care about.
Okay.
So,
You weren't concerned at all that that would affect like work ethic or anything.
No. I mean, based off of what I stalked earlier,
Yeah.
based off of the things that I had read about you and just observed in passing by, like any business, I mean, for us, because we have such a strong relationship technically beforehand with a lot of our employees,
Yeah.
because a lot of times there's long-standing customers in the store, we want to make sure they're the right fit for us, because we don't have a lot of turnover here for good reason, because we kind of vet them to essentially make sure that they're the right fit for our store. So we want to make sure that in that regard that you were the right fit. And the person that I had been interacting with, I had had no problems with. And my assumption, and obviously I did a little research on it, I'm like, what is DID? My assumption was, after doing that little bit of research, was, okay, this person who has the ID obviously has a way to deal with all of these entities that live within this
Okay, just
body.
walk by.
Yeah.
And the person I've been interacting with, I've had no problems with. So my ultimate goal, was to make sure that that you knew, whoever I was going to be dealing with, whoever you are at the time,
Yeah.
knew that my requirement from you was to do the job.
Okay.
And as long as you were doing the job, I didn't care. So, and that's really what an employer.
It's very similar to my my teacher that I have currently for my business soft skills. She is a blessing. It's been so kind and so adaptive towards my condition during this semester. We've been having a lot of switches at the time in class, and I don't know what was causing it, but alters were fronting, and we had headaches because of it. And it was a really tough time, and assignments weren't getting turned in on time. We weren't doing well on tests, and then I went up to the teacher. Dana went up to the teacher and explained to her what I had and my situation, and she, ever since that day, has been extremely lenient on assignment dates. Like, for instance, when there's assignment that's due, say, on Monday, she gives me and my system a 5-day buffer point, which has been an absolute blessing, especially during the semester with the whole, virus and school shut down, and then on top of that, the drama that's been going on. And on that topic, we're over it. We're done. We're no longer going to be involved in videos or comment sections about said drama. It's not healthy for our system or our mental health, or we don't want to give TP any more attention, because it needs to stop. It really does. YouTube has done absolutely nothing to stop TP, and she's hurt systems around the world. Systems have split again. She's causing permanent damage to people around the world, and YouTube is doing nothing. And it's just we're done. We're done with it. We're over it. It's something that has affected us for too long, and that's part of the reason why we couldn't upload yesterday. It's just there was too much going on. The comment sections of certain videos have just been too toxic, and it started to get to us. So we apologize for the late upload, but that's the situation that was going on, and we're staying out of the drama, and we're moving on, because we gotta keep moving forward.
Wants you to do is
Yeah.
do your job. Do your
There was a long time where we didn't know that you knew.
yeah.
Like, because you were like, I'm just gonna wait for her to approach me. And I don't even remember what I said, but I said a joke that was only an inside joke for me about like something like I'm worth 10 employees or something like that. And then you looked at me and you go, yeah, right, in your head. Well, no, yeah, that works. And then walked away. And I was like, what do you know?
It was very funny to see your reaction.
I was so confused.
Well, and ultimately, it's making sure that you felt comfortable here, and I mean it's your decision to inform people
Yeah.
of it, and I didn't want you to feel like you had to be like, guess what, on this. It's not
You
like
didn't want to out.
it's like I don't ask people like, so what's your orientation? But no, I don't
Bless
care.
this lady.
As long as you're doing your job, that's all I care about. And you are doing your job, and you still are doing your job. So, I mean, like I said, ultimately that's all that matters. And so, yeah, I didn't feel like you had to, like, again, be like, here's my sign. This is what I am. This is what I suffer from. This is what I deal with on a regular basis. I just didn't care.
Didn't care. Yeah, no.
I mean,
awesome.
I cared, but I don't.
But like, yeah, no, it
I
wasn't
don't-
like.
It didn't affect our decision. I will say, I really wish from time to time you just wear a name tag, because I feel bad when I'm not identifying you with the name that whoever's at the shop is identifying with for that day, or who's ever working with me today.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have a certain amount of employees that I have to remember the names of, and I'm like, now I have to remember 10 more names, and I'm bad at that, and I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
totally
like,
good.
and I feel bad because I make that physical representation. I'm like, okay, this person's name is attached to this person, and that's what sticks.
Yeah.
And so, like, having to remember additional names for that one person,
For the one
I'm like,
physical face.
I'm like, I can't, like, I have lots of nicknames for my dog, and that's probably, like, my dogs have lots of nicknames, and that's it, and I don't even remember all those.
And I know, like, most
Sorry.
of us, like, super don't, like, just the fact that you, like, try or that you acknowledge and, like, you know, talk to us like we're us is awesome. But I know, like, Kit usually comes in, she's like, hi, I'm Kit, call me Kit.
Call me Kit. Well, yeah, Kim
She's,
last week was like, I'm needy today. Like,
she's been
I was
that
like,
a lot.
I was like,
lately.
okay, all right, cool. I'm like, I got no time for needy. I understand. I appreciate you letting me know you're being needy today. I will do what I can to mitigate.
So, difficult question.
That was awesome. Give me 1 second here to rethink and reevaluate my thoughts, because for some reason I had a thought and then it disappeared, so give me a sec. Okay, I remember what I was going to talk about now. We used to work at McDonald's, and name drop. And we were, as a requirement, had to wear a name tag, and our name tag obviously said Daniel because that's who they hired, and it was a challenge, especially when an alter would front, mostly Connor. We worked drive-through, so when me Daniel would work drive-through, it was a lot of fun because it's like, hi, welcome to McDonald's. What can I do for you today? One large Big Mac meal. All right, what kind of drink? Coke. All right, it's going to be a total of 713 first window. I'd kind of do the movie voice, like hello and welcome to McDonald's. What can I do for you today? And like I actually, got a couple of customers that are like, is this automated? And of course I'd mess with them. Like this older lady who we had was a regular. I knew her quite well. And so one time I went, hello and welcome to McDonald's. What can I do for you today? And she goes, one Big Mac. Did you say McDouble? Big Mac. And so like we just kind of had this back and forth. And then she pulled to the window and she heard my voice and she goes, oh, that was you? Oh, jeez. And then when Connor would front and take orders, it would be extremely fabulous and very flamboyant. And I told a couple of my coworkers that I had DID, and so they knew who Daniel and Connor were. Janessa didn't front and hardly fronts ever. She's just not comfortable with being in public. But when Connor would front, though, the high school crowd, specifically egotistical high school boys, would give us a hard time. Call us derogatory names. In the drive-thru, mind you. I worked at McDonald's, and it was called derogatory names. I'm actually probably going to make a separate video talking about my McDonald's experience. I do have some good stories, a lot of good stories, and a lot of intense customers. But it's hold on. What I was going to say is that it's a good first job, for sure, but you definitely don't want to make a living out of it. And if you're wondering why I paused right there, I started to dissociate for some reason, and like the entropy system, I feel dissociating on camera is awkward, and I don't really dig it. We kind of want to go back into our own headspace, and if someone's going to front, we most likely will pause and let that happen. Whoever the alter is that will be fronting might have a different feel on if they want to be recorded whilst that process is happening or not. So I think it might have been Connor that was trying to front right there, but then somehow it stopped. But let us continue, shall we?
I will do what I can to mitigate.
So, difficult question. Who do you think is the hardest worker?
I mean,
or like, who has the most productivity?
I read this question and I was like, oh, but I love all of my children. All of my kids.
That's
I know
awesome.
You guys say you're all different and you have different likes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But from my observations, it's you guys all work the same. I mean, sometimes
That's
you're.
good.
I mean,
That's good
sometimes
to know.
you're. Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't notice you being lazy or super hyperactive or anything. I don't notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you're doing the job that's put in front of you. It may be you, and this is really literally for anybody, depending on the day of the week. It doesn't really matter, but it's, I may be in a mood where I don't want to go up and talk to people. Well, that's who may be at the shop that day. Maybe don't want to go up and approach everybody like all bubbly and whatnot. But
yeah.
That's a mood, actually.
That's still exactly the same thing I'm going to get from any other employee.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens to be that maybe it's a little more prominent with you from time to time, but again, it's not noticeable.
And so I know that people are going to ask of how many of us, like, who you've met. So I know, obviously.
So I definitely know Daniel. So I can tell Daniel over the phone.
Yeah. Every time she's like, "Is this Daniel?"
And I was like, "Oh, Daniel." Because your voice will obviously be lower. You'll not be wearing makeup.
Yeah.
And you will dress a little bit differently.
And then the last question I have is, do you have advice for any other employers who may be hesitant about hiring someone purely because they found out that they have DID?
So, I mean, I can only go off of my experience. My experience first was discovering it on my own. Again, as an employer, we want to make sure we have the person that's applying is the right fit, potential right fit, somebody that is an applicant, that is an actual consideration that we're making. So, I mean, the way that I found out was, I looked up the person. I wanted to make sure this person was the right fit. But it wasn't something that I felt should ever be. It's not a deciding factor, a yes or no.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe I'm gonna get 10 employees out of one person. I'm like, dang, this is gonna be stellar. It wasn't something like that. It was just, again, it was making sure that they were gonna get the job done, and that at no point had you given me that feel. So I feel like any other employer, as long as that person is qualified on the application and in interviews and interactions, then it shouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my perspective on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's as long as you're upfront. Or open about it. I mean, it depends on the person, if they're open about it, if they understand even what they're dealing with yet. As long as they're open and upfront with their employer, they shouldn't have any problems with that employer, or else that employer is not the right employer for them. Mm-hmm. Also, and vice versa. I mean, if it's not something that I felt like I could have dealt with, or felt like I had to deal with, again, I'm not dealing with it. You're the one that's understanding and taking care of yourself. And so I'm just here for you to make sure you do your job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ultimately, it doesn't make a difference, in my opinion,
mm-hmm.
on hiring somebody or not hire somebody.
Is there any last thoughts you want to throw out or add, or? You don't have to. Just if there was anything that popped up in your head that I didn't ask about.
Gosh, I don't know.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, you are. No, I mean, I don't have any insight other than as long as you're upfront with your employer or your future employee, then it shouldn't make any difference.
I do want to take a second to say that, like, being here at the store has made us feel a lot braver as far as, like, embracing ourselves and not being ashamed of our disorder.
It's not
You put the word on my head.
I'm so sorry.
But like, you and all of our coworkers and your husband and, like, even some regulars who have come in and been like, "Hey, I found you on YouTube," and I was like, they're like, "Yeah, that's cool." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Like, never felt even like this much discrimination from literally anyone, and that just I feel very fortunate and very grateful for this environment. The store has been a very good thing for us. So everybody have a great day. Thank you for watching, and remember, you are loved, you are valuable, and you are valid. Bye.
All right, there we go. Oh, wow. 2 notifications. Oh, my name is Connor, and I'm also flamboyantly gay. We are truly out there. Respect. Takes balls to make a comment like that. All right, let's go back up here. Timer just started. As for our live streams, oh my God. Needs to shave. Ew. All right. On another note, that was a great video. Links to me will be in the description down below to watch the whole video, since this will be cut up and chopped up, since you guys loved the last video. But one of the main critiques was that it was a bit lengthy without reaction, so we're sorry for that. But in future videos that do have reaction/commentary, and we actually are reacting and commentating, we will cut those out. we for sure will be doing a video on our experience with working at McDonald's while having DID. And yeah, your guys' support has been amazing. We say that every single video, but it's true. On the topic of the drama, we're, like we said earlier in the video, we're over it. We're done. We're gonna stop giving her attention because it needs to stop. Thank you so much for supporting us and in our system and other systems out there during this time. We heard that Nin in her system had a really hard time as of recent, and that really kind of rocked our world to how real this whole stuff is. And our love and support goes out to Nin. And if it weren't for you, Dissociated, we would have never felt comfortable for making our introductory video. And it changed us. It really did. And it gave us this platform as the way that we could express ourselves. And that means the world to us. I'm gonna start crying. I'm sorry. Hold on. We're gonna end the video here, and on a positive note, and say thank you to every single person who watches these videos and leaves a comment. It means the world to us. We say that every single video, but it really does. Okay, well, I think that'll do it. We will have videos throughout the week, whether I think one or two uploads throughout the week, just some silly random moments that happens when we're playing video games. So we hope you enjoy those. Sorry for the late upload. All right, peace out, guys. Thanks so much. Stay awesome, stay strong. You are valid and you are loved.